My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Leos. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing a general reading, a past, present, future 9-card spread. But before I do that, I want to show you my new ring that my human fledgling, what does he call himself? His, my, or, familiar, whatever it may be that he wants to be called. But anyway, I just call him my little fledgling. But other than that, this is considered a vampire ring because this is like a blood red and diamond or stone and this ring and stuff like that. So he thought it would be fun to start adding more vampiric flair to my readings, which I'm going to be doing because he is in the process of purchasing more items for me and stuff like that. But otherwise, I'm going to be using the regular tarot deck for today. Clarify with the vampire deck, draw a special vampire card, draw a vampire oracle, and then draw 3 yes or no answers for thee. So let's get started on your reading. Okay, the general card is the Queen of Swords reversed. Let's look at the first row, which is also your past. You start off with Knights of Pentacles upright. Okay, slow but steady. 2 of Wands, getting out into this world. And 4 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, I'm kind of getting, you could be receiving something or you could be heading towards something where you're pretty much, have this confidence of wanting to get out into this world. But yet there's still something that's kind of holding you back or at least that held you back in the past. I mean, maybe this offering that was coming towards you, slow but, certain, more or less, caused you to also have to reciprocate by meeting this person or this offering halfway. And that more or less just kind of put you in a sense of feeling a bit unstable or uncertain about this offering. Or you could even have Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or more fire of Aries, Sagittarius, or more Leo placements. But what I mostly see here is, sometimes, it's like when you're being offered something, I do sense that there could have been some form of hesitation, maybe a bit of, self-doubt, lack of clarity. I mean, it's not really per se water, but of course, it's like, it's a general reading, so whatever, you were being presented with more or less has kind of made you feel a bit, well, I'm not so sure if I want to head towards that. It's like, if a lion, saw like a target or some kind of, other, like, just, a target, and then they felt thinking, well, it's like, I'm sure, my fellow lions would want me to go after it, but, there was something that just kind of held you back. You didn't really feel like you wanted to go out into the hunt. I mean, especially since the general card is the Queen of Swords, which is also about feeling a bit directionless and kind of thinking, well, we need to, think this whole offering through a bit. Though in current times, Ace of Cups, new beginnings, maybe new love, abundance, overflow. Page of Pentacles, reversed. And the 7 of Wands reversed. Now, the thing is I'm kind of getting mixed senses here, but on a positive note, this beautiful Ace of Cups could also, be enough for you to think, you know what, I don't need to deal with any more, rehearsals, practicing, defending my crops, idea, children, proving myself, and I'm not going out on the hunt, for any kind of financial voyage or endeavor for that matter, because maybe this offering from the Knight of Pentacles, even though it may seem like it's a bit uncertain, because any kind of offering for that matter, especially if you haven't, if it's not quite there in your grasp as of yet, it always what makes one feel a bit uncertain about thinking, well, I see something heading towards me, slow but certain. But yet, the more slower, or, the slower it gets, then you kind of start getting this, like, a bit uncertainty about it. Because if you have to wait for something, if you have to be hesitant, or, if you have to, just think, okay, you need to have patience for that matter, that can make one feel a bit, restless and uneasy as well. But I do love that you do get this very beautiful card, though. But, of course, we'll have to clarify this real soon. And, of course, you could also have, again, more fire, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio placements in your star chart. Now in the future you get Queen of Cups. It's about self-care, self-love, self-nurturing, and healing, and also support for that matter, because you're going to be doing a lot of hard work, or you're going to be feeling burdened with the 10 of Wands. And it's pretty much going to cause you to feel a bit hesitant in the future as well. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, unless you really have some real strong senses and stuff like that, I'm kind of getting this feeling. I mean, well, personally, if I was in a situation like this, I would kind of, rethink this potential offering that even came to me in the past. Because if something is, it's like, your gut instinct, your senses, if something really just doesn't, seem like it's all worth your while for that matter, even though you are, loving and supporting and caring for this voyage or this Ace of Cups moment, and it will require, a lot of adjustments, hard work, feeling burdened, maybe having to do transitions of some kind. But then halfway or even at the start of the whole, carrying the heavy load, it's kind of causing you to just, think, you know what, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. It just doesn't seem like it's worth my time in any way. Well, I'm going to have to do some clarification regarding this. But, it's like, yeah, I mean, on the first note, I would just think, you know what, I would rethink this whole voyage and maybe try something different. Because even though Ace of Cups, a very beautiful card, I love Ace of Cups in my own way. But yeah, it's like it's also a bit uncertain because is it going to be a positive or a negative, reaction from that card. But we're still going to have to clarify the past first. Knight of Pentacles, you get the Seven of Swords. So the thing is what I'm kind of getting here, there could have been a deceptive offering that took place in the past. This could have also been like a fool's gold kind of, offering, where this person pretty much is saying, oh yeah, I have this very beautiful grand offering for you, and it looks promising because I have this very big pentacle, and maybe this is kind of like the Ace of Pentacles for that moment, but this person has like this very beautiful, grand, slow but certain offering for you, but there could be a bit of like some ill intentions behind it as well. Well, you'll really have to look into this offering of whatever it may be because, it's like if some person, is kind of giving you maybe some uncertainty, lack of clarity, it's kind of a bit like, I'm not, just kind of, giving you the sense of already hesitation even in the future as well. That's why I'm here to give you these readings. I'm not a seer, but if I already know that there's still hesitation taking place in the future, you'll want to look into this combination. But on a positive note, it could be an act of really great planning and strategy and just kind of having this determination within this whole offering as well. But again, if you are being presented with any kind of offering for that matter, you might really want to look into this and ask as many questions as possible. And if your senses and intuition are as sharp as anything, just always refuse or reject, because it's better to lean towards, the angle of caution rather than just jumping into the uncertainty, Because regarding the Two of Wands, yeah, and Nine of Swords. So the thing is, it's like when you realize, hypothetically, if you did accept this kind of offering in the past, and this is you actually, going on this voyage, this journey of wherever it may take you, it could also be that you could feel a bit fearful and uncertain about this whole voyage that, was being presented to you in the past because, there's maybe a bit of lack of clarity, uncertainty. Your gut instinct was pretty much just saying, no, don't go. I mean, I sort of know this combination all too well, when I allowed the vampire into my tarot shop and, my gut instinct was saying, get out of there, Gabriella, run, leave this place. Don't just stand there, I mean, you have no idea who this person is. I mean, I never knew any of my customers. I mean, for that matter. But the thing was, I just kind of thought, you know what? Let's just see what happens. Well, it did not benefit me at all. Four of Pentacles, you feel uncertain, but you get the Two of Grails. Now, this could finally be your intuition finally coming or heading towards you, but it could also be, where, this offering, is actually a legitimate offering. Maybe this is just you feeling a bit uncertain about this offering of some kind, but even though you may feel a bit unsteady, a bit imbalanced, a bit, again, uncertain about this offering, it could still be a very legitimate offering from this Two of Cups person. But this could also be, clarity, that's more or less just helping you understand this whole process as well, because you do probably feel directionless in current times. And maybe, this is what you more or less need is clarity to finally, and you will realize and understand this type of offering. But this could also be you maybe choosing something different. And because, this is kind of out with the old, decision and in with the new decision of some kind. Because with the Ace of Cups, this new offering, you get the Hermit. So this is kind of like being presented with maybe an alternative offering. Maybe this is the Two of Cups offering that is, well, being presented with this beautiful overflow and abundance, but this is you actually rethinking this whole offering for that matter. I mean, maybe, it's something that you actually want to, accept eventually and stuff like that, but this could also be the offering from the Ace of Cups where you just think, well, what, hindsight, actually, I just really don't want to do this anymore. It looked, it looked promising, it looked exciting, it looked, beautiful, from, when I was being offered, but, looking back at it, you know what, I'm actually not going to do this anymore. Again, 100% your choice and your own prerogative in any way. Because regarding the Page of Pentacles reversed, Prince of Skulls, the second Knight of Pentacles. Now the thing is this could still be that financial offering, even though it's pretty much just also heading towards you slowly but surely. But again, maybe you just think, this is just a fool's gold kind of offering again, because with the Page of Pentacles, but this could also be a real legitimate offering as well, because maybe you don't have to go out on the job hunt anymore, or go out on any voyage, because whether it's the Page of Pentacles, the Swords, the Wands, or the Cups for that matter, it's kind of like going on this voyage, this journey. And maybe this new offering that's heading towards you in current times is going to be looking a bit more promising for that matter. But, it's like any kind of offering. You should always do a lot of introspection, self-reflection on this whole, process, and just to make sure it's what you truly want and what your own senses and gut instinct are more or less offering and presenting to you to think, what, actually, let's try it out. But otherwise, if something really just seems off, forget about it, Seven of Wands reversed, you get the Tower. So the thing is, this is pretty much this big change, and that's causing you to also maybe lack a sense of, strength or, confidence within you of not wanting to actually pursue something. But this could also be having to let go of this whole, defending your whole job search purpose and stuff like that. Because with the Tower, you could also have Aries energy, but this is also about heading towards this big change in the future. Well, the thing is, it's like, I know that this one Leo, a neighbor of mine, very, smart, beautiful woman, in her own way. But the thing is, it's like, she's about to head off towards, this new job offering of some kind. And she feels a bit hesitant about it. But, since she already talked or spoke to, the manager or the boss leader of that company and stuff like that, that more or less helped her, understand the whole, job requirements and search for that reason. But yeah, for some reason, it's like she also had this moment where, she also had to let go of something because of this big change as well, because she's also going to be relocating, I guess, towards a different country. I don't know why, for what reason, but it's like, but either way, I do see this change also for you as well. Now, Queen of Cups in the future. Four of Swords. Okay, this is where you're going to have to, rest up and heal, take good care of yourself, maybe ask for some support, or even support yourself. But this is where you're actually going into the healing and resting up phase and stuff like that. Because any kind of change, this grand change of having to let something go is, does require, for you to have to, to regenerate your energy and your strength again, and just think, okay, it's like we're going to be heading down towards this new offering and stuff. So this is where we need to kind of, just start adapting to this new lifestyle and stuff like that, or even, just at least, rest up, because if you're resting and healing and recovering and also supporting yourself, that's crucial for any kind of like new voyage for that matter. Because with the Ten of Wands, Death, Rebirthing City. Well, it's one of the cards I pulled for the Vampire. But this is kind of like, and this hard work is definitely sending you off into this transition, this rebirthing phase. And that's kind of what I see for my beautiful, amazing, Leos for that matter. Because the thing is, it's like, this change is inevitable. Change is sad but true, inevitable. You can't escape change in any way. And so, if you feel like, this hard work is finally going to be paying off and stuff like that, yes, I do see that there's going to be a lot of hard work, but there's definitely going to be this new rebirthing moment that's going to be taking place. Now, since it's in the future, it'll be taking place in July. We're heading towards June real soon, and then we still have, the Cancer season, and then what comes after Cancer? Your season. So this could also be taking place halfway into July or start of August for that matter. But either way, I do see this new beginning for you. And maybe you do have to put in a lot of time and effort into something. Now, for the Seven of Pentacles, of hesitancy and having a bit of self-doubt and lack of clarity, you get the second Ten of Wands again. So the thing is, it's like maybe you kind of have to force yourself to kind of go with the struggle of this transition and rebirthing phase. I mean, you are actually doing a lot of resting up in the future, but this is also a time for you to actually head off towards a transition phase. It's like any kind of vampire would, but I don't think you are a vampire for that matter. But I see you just, that there could be a bit of like hesitancy, a bit of self-doubt, thinking, well, it's like I really don't feel like doing this, but I do see you putting in a lot of hard work. And the name of the game sometimes is to fake it till you make it eventually. Something's going to actually click, and then you'll be in the nice, beautiful, smooth, water or any kind of other land of routine. Wow. Because your special vampire card, Three of Wands. You're going to be going on this beautiful new journey of whatever it may be. So the thing is any kind of transition for that matter, any kind of like traveling, any time you have to kind of, go out on this kind of voyage for that matter, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of strength and courage to do so, but I really think you just fit all of those qualities no matter what. And this is pretty much accentuating your desire, your drive, this need to get out into this world and go out on this beautiful voyage of wherever it may take you in the future. Wow. Because Oracle says, her last day in the light, unexpected endings, surprise changes, and sudden shifts. Just like the Tower. Okay. So, this is technically, even though this is actually, the summer season, where it's pretty much your season, but since it's pretty much, you could, and will be born on August 20th, and that's more or less the, the end of, the Leo season for that matter. No, the 22nd is, sorry about that. But, the thing is, or you could also be born on August 22nd. But, what I see here is you are going to be facing this unexpected change, the surprise change. I don't know what it could be. I mean, it could be maybe new love with a Virgo. It could also be with any person or any kind of offering and stuff like that. But I do see sudden shifts taking place in the future. So whatever change is inevitable. It's scary because, we don't know the unknown of the future for that matter. However, the thing is as long as whatever you work on right now could, result in a real positive, beautiful, surprise change in the future for that matter. Okay. Well, I'm going to finish off with 3 yes or no answers. Please feel free to pause this video and think about the questions you want answered. For number 1 with the Hierophant reverse, you get a no. The Emperor upright, you get a yes. And the Eight of Pentacles reverse, you get a no. So for this reading, you get 2 no's and 1 yes, and hopefully they will benefit you. Well, my beautiful, amazing Leos, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. But if this reading resonated for you, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys incredibly. And even if you feel a bit, skeptical, about if you even came across this video just by pure chance or luck or any other reason and stuff like that, just feel free to see, what this, what my videos, can mean to you someday and stuff like that. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. In a few days, I'm going back to love readings. So for now, I'm just doing general and love, but I'm also open for personal readings. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel and post in a little discussion box below that you want a personal reading from me, and then I'll respond to you with my email. But otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly, and best of luck on where the journey may take you.